Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Trick or Trials. This is round 2, day number 1 here. We are here on the Suffocation pit, joined by Team Sanity and Team Tamashi. Diabus, Foku, Haorami, and Mup K for Team Tamashi. Juiced here for Team Sanity. Immediate pallet break coming through, and unfortunately it's going to be an immediate transition into the tag onto Focus. So great stuff from Juiced. Looks like we're trying to head to the top side of the map where our death spot appears to be here. Foku actually playing around this tower very, very well, dropping that pallet now, rushes all here, so have the seawall now to play, dropping it instantly. However, this is a bit of a zone and bone. We do not really have much to play there in after, so that's going to be 1 rush, 2 rushes, and the down onto Foku has occurred. So beautiful stuff here coming in from Juice. Very, very quick down here. No agitation coming through, so we're not going to be seeing a dragging to the bottom side where our looks like 4-gen situation is. But still, a good down and a good death location in the middle of the map here, and we are seeing as well a generator being progressed here on the 10 side of the map. Some good progress as well, so you might expect, yeah, a generator does pop very, very quickly as well. So the generator progress from Team Tamashi is looking pretty good, trying to mind game this pallet a little bit, swinging through it, not going to quite land true. Mupke is going to get the stun there, but that is 1 resource out of the way, and a gen regressing to suit as well. It looks like we see, no, it looks like a little bit of lag on my part, but that's okay. Not seeing anyone yet. I'm going to head back over to the hook here, making sure they don't get this unhooked for free. And as we are seeing Haorami working this bottom side generator, but we quickly decide to head back to the hook here because we realize that we shouldn't really let this hook go for free here. Going for Haorami here just to get commit for a tag would be a bit of a mistake. Foku would be allowed to get unhooked at a relatively good time. So we will get the camp out of the way here. Generator progress still coming in on the bottom side of the map here. We do know that Map K is on the top side of the map here, either looking for the pole or working a generator. So looks like we are now choosing to commit to Haorami. A pallet now broken here. Now the question is, does Foku actually go second here, or... Oh, actually, no. Foku has to go second. I just realized. So if you guys didn't know, the killer treats on both sides of the coin here is Unbreakable Hook. What that essentially means is that the survivors have no choice but to let the person who gets hooked first go to the second stage. So the smart thing to do with this treat here is to try to progress generators as much as possible. Don't even attempt the unhook because, well, you can't get the unhook. But we are seeing the unhook happen now that Unbreakable Hook has dwindled, so Unbreakable Hook no longer in play here, and we need to try to find Foku, but it looks like Juice has lost Foku here. That could be very, very good here for Team Tamashi if it is that we're not able to transition. And not being able to transition here will mean, yeah, we don't have a tunnel out. And it looks like we're now looking for Haorami here. We do actually see Haorami's scratch marks over on the shack side. We want to try to mind game the shack here, but unfortunately for Juice, it's not going to quite work out. Haorami successfully getting away with it, and is going to be able to have a pretty long chase here at shack. Vaulting that window, having to play the Z-wall now. Very, very smart. Transitioning the loops decently while playing into the resources that we have. Are we going to make window? No, we are not. Haorami taking a tag here. Foku still on our death hook. The ideal find here is going to be Foku, and we are seeing a generator over at 7 popping, another generator over on the top side of the map popping as well. So we have a lot to be thankful for here. Team Sanity, a lot to play for. Breaking this pallet. Haorami has to die here, bumping, but we are not going to quite be able to transition as now Haorami is choosing to die in the edge of the map. So Haorami going down here, that gen over at the bottom side erupted, picking up Haorami, getting the hook as quickly as possible. Call of Brine in place. So we know somebody is here for this bottom side generator, but the question is, who is it? If this is Foku, that could be amazing stuff here. Foku completely reset here. We need to find our tunnel out. It's our 1 saving grace here, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're able to quite find it. Team Tamashi playing into the Unbreakable Hook very, very well here, just getting the generator progress, and Foku not getting found therein after is completely working in Tamashi's favor. locker here, bouncing to go back to Haorami. We want to try to find someone going for the unhook, but here's the thing. You have to imagine the people are just kind of working the topside generators, and main is not even active, and Haorami will get unhooked. Someone was stealthing the entire time for the unhook. Beautiful stuff, and I believe we see the aura. Was that Foku is the question. If that was Foku, that could actually be exactly what we're looking for, but we actually see Diabus here on the bottom side of the map. So it's not going to be a transition onto Diabus. Good tag from Juiced here, as now Diabus trying to take as best of a chase as he possibly can, wants to try to play this TNL, but isn't going to quite be able to make it land true. Instead, we're choosing to force the locker here. Now you have to imagine that's intentional, because even though we could have played the TNL, it is a Blight at a TNL, so not the safest loop against this killer, but it will mean that Haorami is able to get fully reset by by Foku, actually, as Mupk is actually, no, this is Foku. Foku on the top side of the map, Mupk over on the bottom side of the map, getting the reset onto Haorami. Foku needing to stealth very, very well. Now, keep in mind, it looks like the survivor trick here, I do not believe it is a secret anymore. The survivor trick here is bright outfits. So they had to run their brightest possible cosmetics so that the killer would be able to see them from long distances. And it actually is playing out here, as we are now seeing Mupk taking a tag, going over to the bottom side of the map here, pull onto Diabus. Second wind, however, will be coming through, as we do see Haorami. This is a fresh hook here if we choose to commit to it, and it looks like we're now having to win some 50-50s. Beautiful! Beautiful stuff from Mupk, winning that 50-50. Amazing stuff coming in. 1 rush, 2 rush, 3 rush, 4 rush, and it's not going to be a transition. Very unfortunate stuff there for Juiced. Mupk taking an incredible chase so far, winning the 50s, able to make this TNL, while over on the left side of the bottom side of the map here, almost have our rushes back, and now we're going to be able to make a transition happen, dropping the pallet. Beautiful stuff here, as we're wanting to now head back over to this bottom side generator here to stop Haorami from being able to pop it. But here's the thing, Haorami is already stealthed somewhere completely different. Haorami over on the other side of the bottom side. Beautiful stealth here from Haorami coming through here, as it will mean that they are able to pop the generator over by the top side of the map very, very quickly here. Heading back over to the bottom side of the map. Mupk getting reset as well. Diabus soon to follow. You have to imagine heading over to get ready for a reset. Yeah, Diabus gets fully reset as well. We do see scratch marks around this area here, but the question is, where exactly are we stealthing? We're heading over now to the 3 generator to get it started. Very smart play, doubling it out, Mupk and Diabus, so that should be done very, very quickly. Our Blight player has to worry about that as well, and we do actually worry about it, as we do now see Juiced heading over to the 3 side of the map, and doesn't hear the progress on it, I don't think. Isn't quite too concerned about it. Doesn't even see anyone just yet. But we do see scratch marks, so we know that they have to have been here, and we do see scratch marks following to the top side of the map. Meanwhile, Mupk heading back over to the 3 generator. Foku stealthing over on the top side of the map as well. We want to try to make sure that we can get on these gens very efficiently here. Diabus winning that very, very well here. Oh, great stuff from Diabus, predicting Juiced's rush there very, very well, and winning that. A very, very well coordinated spin there, as Diabus will be taking tag here, heading over to the main building, wants to try to take a chase as long as possible, but unfortunately for Diabus, Juice is just going to be leaving, heading over to the bottom side of the map. However, this is Foku. Now, the question is, if we transition to Foku here, it looks like we actually don't. We don't know where Foku is, but we need to kick the generator. Yeah, we are going to go kick the generator here. Foku stealthing over on the corner of the hill here. Now, if he is found, this could be very, very good for Sanity, but here's the thing, there would have to be a long chase, or a short chase, otherwise they would just pop all the gens, and it looks like Juice doesn't even find it happening, and a good transition onto Haorami. Amazing stuff from Juice here. Getting that down was absolutely necessary, and we are going to be taking our tag on to Diabus as well, so great stuff from Juice. We need to get this hook as fast as we possibly can here. Foku now working this bottom side generator, Mupk working this 3 side generator. This hook needs to come in very, very quickly. It's going to be quite close, but it's not going to even be enough, and there is the blow up of the generator as well, so a little bit of regression, 10% coming in onto it as well, so that's going to be a lot to be thankful for here from Sanity, yeah, kicking this 3 side generator. and the bottom side gen is currently being worked. So we are actually still going to be seeing, it looks like a pretty decent result. Mupk are fresh hook here, and it doesn't like we're actually wanting to commit to it. Juiced isn't realizing. I think that bottom side generator is currently being worked, and he doesn't realize it. It's going to pop, unfortunately. Foku doing an incredible job here. The fact that Foku was not found is huge. And there is the pop of the generator. Main building now being broken. Diabus now heading over to the one side of the map. That one pallet. Beautiful stuff here from Juice here. It looks like we're choosing to actually leave this chase here. And there is Mupk, our fresh hook. So this is exactly who you need. Good bump from Juiced. Getting that tag. We get our rushes back very, very quickly. We need to transition into this down, and it looks like we might. Here comes Haurami, and a down onto Mupk. Amazing stuff here. We need to get this pickup without a flashlight save coming through. There is Foku, was getting ready for some sort of flashbang save. It looks like we're crawling, picking up the survivor. Flashlight not going to be able to land true, unfortunately. The spooky bulb coming in, but not going to actually be able to get the flashlight save on this occasion. So Mupk will be hooked. This is our fresh hook. Exactly what we needed. We are resetting inside of the gates here. Diabus needs to be extra careful here. Now, we're not allowed to search the chests. Normally, there is a killer treat or a survivor treat that allows the survivors to actually search the chests, but not on this occasion. So we will not be seeing that happening. Diabus will not be able to get the reset onto himself. And it looks like how Rami's actually going for the trade here for less stage is a very, very intelligent play here. One less stage is going to be actually very impactful, especially on an S tier set like the Blight. Heading over now to this gate here. We need to transition this down super well. Unfortunately for Mupk, we're simply not seeing it. One bound, two rush, and now we're fatiguing. We need to play it safer. We need to guarantee this down here. Mupk winning that 50-50. Amazing stuff. Now one rush, two rushes is going to be the down on to Mupk. Picking up Mupk, confirming the next hook onto him as well. How Rami slugged over on this bottom side of the map here. The trade wasn't a bad idea, but I think you needed to reset Foku as well so that you could confirm that Foku could help Mupk get out of the game. But unfortunately, this hook onto Haurami will simply, or down onto Haurami as well as hook back onto Mupk, will simply confirm the much better result had it not been. So, Haurami getting picked up here. Diabus, just be extra careful here. Once Diabus, or if Diabus gets this unhook. Where is Diabus though? Diabus is waiting at the hatch. This is actually a very intelligent play considering the fact that we actually can't really get out of the gates here. This is actually really guardable for our killer player. Let's see if Juice actually picks up on it. I don't think Juice is actually picking up on it entirely. He is now rushing. One rush, two rush, three rush, and unfortunately, Diabus will be out of the gate here. And that is going to be a 10-stage result. Absolutely not something you hate on the survivor side against a high-tier killer like the Blight, but when we come back, we will see just how the survivors of Team Sanity will respond. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with an immediate tag onto Styles here on the Entity's Campfire from Diabus. So good stuff from Diabus here. Oh, I'm sorry. I got really confused. Hamdan, Draxi, Geo, and Styles here. Hamakin Skywalker he's going by for this. It looks like. For Team Sanity and Diabus are for Team Tamashi. But Styles will simply be going down at this window over by the middle of the map here. So this is a really good down here for Tamashi. We get to patrol both sides of the map here. It looks like this is a 4-gen bottom. So that's actually really, really good hook location for Diabus. It means we can patrol both sides of the map here. And we can protect our 4-gen pretty heftily as well. So we have a lot to be thankful for in that location. And we're looking here, we're seeing scratch marks here over by the top side of the map here, and that is actually going to be Draxi. Draxi now taking chase over at the main building here. SB, this is our Deliverance player is the thing, and unfortunately we will not be getting the Deliverance, it looks like. And if Draxi goes down here, that means that Deliverance will be out of play for the trial. So the fact that Draxi still just cannot get the unhook. Yeah, Draxi's simply going to be going down here, it looks like. So, great stuff here from Diabus. And a hook onto Draxi as well, so Deliverance completely denied. The killer treat completely working against the Deliverance player here, not being able to stealth for that unhook, really and truthfully. So, this is actually going to be 2 hooks on the map here, all at the same time. Diabus playing into this killer treat so well, just not bothering with the camp and instead going for individual hooks here early on here. Beautiful stuff here. Now, Hamdan is going to have to try his best to get this unhook. But here's the thing. Diabus is not going to let it happen for free. Diabus is heading back now to the unhook. Maybe trying to transition into a tag onto Geo. Not going to quite work out here. Unhook onto Draxi from Hamdan, actually. And that's actually going to mean that Diabus can commit a little bit longer here to the tag onto Geo. And after that, Diabus will be heading back to hook here. Diabus playing off of very good game sense here. Not only knowing that they cannot unhook Styles too early, but that knowing that Hamdan got the unhook onto Draxi because we've denied the Deliverance here is super good game knowledge. So well done to Diabus here, playing around the treat very, very well. And I think we can actually just camp this to death. We have 2 injuries on the map, only 1 healthy serve. No trade is going to be able to happen unless it's from Hamdan, who's trying to come in right now for the trade. And it looks like he actually is going to get the trade. So good stuff from Hamdan. Getting this trade at the very last second will mean that Styles is a little bit longer for this world. But you have to imagine not too much longer. So we're now trying to make the top side of the map here. And we are not, unfortunately, going to be able to make the pallet. The borrowed time not going to be able to last long at all. Good stuff from Diabus here. Diabus now wanting to head back over to the bottom side of the map. Top side generator is being worked. Bottom side generator is also being worked, so we have to be very careful about that. Oh my goodness gracious, we are seeing it down onto Geo. Do we have Unbreakable in play on any of these serves? No, we don't. Draxi is our Unbreakable player, and now we have to heal ourselves with the medkit. The question is, does Diabus know where Draxi is? We know that he has to be on the top side of the map here. 1 bound, 2 bound, 3 bound on a break of the pallet here. We are so close to finding Draxi. Draxi is around here, heading over now to the bottom side of the map. With rushes, we might be able to catch out Draxi. But it doesn't look like, yeah, we are now seeing the scratch marks. 1 rush, 2 rush. And a down onto Draxi, and with that, I don't think this, oh wait, but Draxi has Unbreakable, and I think we suspect just as such, so we're gonna pick up Draxi. Very logical play there, medkit player, probably Deliverance, probably Unbreakable, so very intelligent play coming in from Diabus. The hook onto Draxi, and the down onto Geo, cements a 4K with 4 generators remaining. An incredible result for Tamashi. I am extremely impressed by this team. And the DC's coming through. Nothing more the survivors could do. We will allow that, as there was nothing more for the survivors to be able to do. So the DC completely valid. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a game at 4 EST. It is going to be, as the title suggests here, Aphelion versus Chads. Incredibly done by both teams today. We'll be back in a little less than half an hour. Stay tuned. I'm seeing deja vu here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Entities Campfire. This is round number 2. Again, day number 1. Again, the second match of today. Gonna be Chads versus Aphelion. Aphelion here on the side of the Blight here. Nina playing the Blight for Aphelion. Inno, Hayden, Remy, Leia, and John Arbuckle here for Team Chads, as Hayden is going to be taking a tag here already on the top side of the map here. Very good tag to find here, and it will be a very early down here on to Hayden by Nina. So very, very good stuff here. I want to point out the trick of the survivors on Chad's side here. They have perk drain. If I switch to the survivor side here, notice how 2 of their serves are only running 3 perks. They are not allowed to run a second perk. So this is actually going to be very, very good stuff here for Aphelion. Aphelion has a lot to be thankful for in that trick here. For the killer treat on Aphelion's side here, they have Aura Peak, meaning that they will be able to use an aura reading perk. And in the case of the Blight here in Nina, we are seeing Furtive Chase, and we are seeing Friends to the End. There we go. I forgot about the perk name for a second. I was thinking of Two Can Play, and it is not that. We're seeing a trade by Remy Leia here for a Deliverance. Hayden lasting long enough for the Deliverance to happen here, it looks like, but unfortunately, it is simply going to mean Hayden will be going down yet again. No decisive strike to speak of, and unfortunately, this is our Deja Vu player as well, and our Reset player as well. Balanced Landing, not going to do much against the Blight as well. We're seeing the hook happen onto Hayden. One generator does pop in the distance, so the generator progression here needs to be, I think, a little bit more here. We are seeing John Arbuckle working a generator off in the distance here. Hook on the top side of the map, and we are heading over to the 8 side as we do see on Friends Till the End one of our serves here. And unfortunately, we are not going to be seeing the tag onto John Arbuckle. So great stuff here from John, completely able to dodge that tag here. Rushing back over to the unhook here, we have Inno. We do not want to unhook Hayden too quickly here, so that unhook didn't happen. Very, very smart play. We need to make sure we're giving Hayden hook time here. And it will be a tag onto Inno. Unfortunately, we're not able to win that 50-50, but we are heading back over to the hook here, trying to maybe see if we can find any other survivor. Maybe try to cut him off here. Hayden just kind of staying on that hook a little bit more here. And John not quite able to finish this 8 generator. Is going to be close, however. The thing is, you might decide to allow that generator to pop just to make sure that Hayden dies here. I think that's definitely the smarter play here. And unfortunately, the gen straight up pops. A tag doesn't come through. And you have to imagine, yeah, the trade, it looks like it is going to be happening. So that was very good coordination here from Team Chads, being able to actually get the trade, announce the trade is happening so that Inno and Remy can continue to either reset or work the generators as they are here. John actually not getting tagged there is massive. And it looks like Hayden is simply getting downed immediately. We find Hayden pretty much instantly off the unhook here. And unfortunately, it will mean that John Arbuckle is simply going to have to be unhooked here, but a generator does pop over in the distance. Friends to the End coming through. Maybe we can find the generator being progressed. We see one of them. This one has decent progress, but the other one on the other side of the map does pop. So Team Chads here putting in the generator efficiency very, very, very well here. Need to meet up for a bit of a reset over on the one side of the map, and it's exactly what they're deciding to do here. Nina, however, finding the reset is exactly what you need here. Flashbang coming through. Remy Leia, unfortunately, going to be getting downed here. And now, picking up Remy, we need to try to hook somewhere that we want to be able to defend any sort of 3-generator situation that we have. We do have a very good 3-generator situation over here. In fact, this is a 4-gen! Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful generator hook location here coming in for Nina. And I think we might be seeing a 4K2. The only way that this becomes a 4K1 here is if, yeah, John does get the medkit from off of the death of Hayden. So that is going to be very, very meaningful here. We do not want to commit over for John here. Instead, Inno wants to try to get this unhook. We are seeing Scratch Marks trying to maybe come in for the unhook, but it's not going to quite happen. Inno now taking chase over at the main building here, and I don't think we want to chase this for long. Instead, we just want to confirm, right? We don't really want to try to force a trade or anything. We just want to confirm confirm Remy's death, and we want to try to make sure John cannot come in for a trade here or any sort of sneaky play. So we are going to be looking around, seeing if we cannot find John. And we actually know where John is. John is right here. He was right by where the Blight is right now. John, it looks like it's actually going to be trying to come in for the unhook here. Coming in for the trade. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get it in time. The body blocks are happening. Is it actually going to happen in time? Is it going to happen in time? It's coming through. One tag, and just in the nick of time, John Arbuckle gets the trade. But it looks like Nina choosing to pick up John and get some more progress. Meanwhile, Inno, working this bottom side generator, needs to try to get as much progress on it as possible. Remy being seen on Friends to the End. Needs to try to re-stealth somewhere. Working this 3-side generator, maybe no. Instead of re-stealthing, Inno gets immediately downed by Nina. Very, very good stuff. The pick up coming through. Remy going for the unhook here. Once that hook happens, they need to disperse. They need to leave immediately. 1 rush to get back there immediately. 2 rushes. 3 rushes coming through. And we are looking for Remy Leia. But the body block coming in from John Arbuckle. BT hit. Really, really good coordination there. We need to go back and we need to try to kill John Arbuckle to the best of our ability. There is Remy though. We're not interested in John. We're interested more in Remy here. Probably a very smart decision here. 1 bound, 2 bound to end Remy's life. And there is John Arbuckle. 4K with 2 generators remaining. Very good stuff here from Nina. Not gonna quite get the curve there, but still, I think we can confirm that this is a 4K with 2 generators remaining. John Arbuckle now just playing for style points here, winning this 50-50. 1 rush, 2 rushes, 3 rushes to confirm the down. Barring, oh wait, the Unbreakable coming through, but Remy unfortunately simply stuck in a location that doesn't really suit her very, very well. Not even going to be able to make this pallet. The Blight simply too powerful. And that is confirming the 4K with 2 generators remaining. Very, very good stuff from Team Aphelion. Very, very good stuff specifically from Nina here. Breaking this pallet. And John Arbuckle getting placed upon the hook. I am very impressed with Aphelion here. Chad's typically supposed to be a very, very good team here, and you know I think their perk drain definitely did some damage to them as well. But the aura peak from Aphelion definitely also helped Nina, but not to downplay any of these players' skills. And we will see exactly what I mean by that when we come back after a very short break. Stay tuned. Something wicked this way comes here at the entity's campfire. We are back with round number 2. Now, what I mean by something wicked here, the survivors have a very interesting trick to play around. Muted silence. What this means is the killers, or the survivors, are not permitted to use communications at the start of the match until the first hook comes through, and we're seeing the detriment of that immediately here as Zinni immediately gets downed by Inno. What a chase! I mean, this is why comms are important here, ladies and gentlemen. Once this hook comes through, survivors are now going to be allowed to use their communication. So officially the survivors are back on comms, but we are seeing exactly why it is that comms are so important. Had we had comms on that first chase, I promise you that down would not have been so quick. This is why we in CompDBD rely so heavily on trusting our teammates with communication. And we are seeing just how that survivor trick has completely played out in Chad's favor. Inno, I just realized I completely forgot to introduce the players here. Inno on the Blight, Nina, Furious, Nexel, and Ginny on for Team Aphelion. We are seeing another survivor here working at the 5-7 map. I want to reiterate again, the survivors are now allowed to use comms now that this first hook has come through. And Nexel is going to be the one getting this unhook, so Deliverance will actually be able to come through here, taking a tag for I think it's Shiny actually, but say Shiny. For Shiny, I have to ask. Before when this is over, just so I don't make that mistake again. And it looks like Nexel is instead going to choose to take the down for Shiny to confirm the decisive strike, bounding unfortunately onto a rocket. It will mean that Shiny is able to make something, and Shiny's chase will be extended as a result. So very, very good stuff here. Shiny unfortunately will we make this pallet? We will. Good stuff from Shiny. Nexel, if Yedexal is the UB player, which he is, he will be able to pick himself up, and he will hopefully be able to get the reset onto himself. So it looks like we are taking the hook onto Shiny. Reminder of the win condition, ladies and gentlemen, 4K with 1 generator remaining is what we're looking for this team to keep moving forward. So Aphelion, still a lot to play for here, trying to drag to the hook location. Now, we might be off with a tag here is the thing, but I think we chose... Yeah, I think we decided, no, I'm not off with a tag. So, we did calm that very, very early on, allowing Naxel, I'm sorry, to be able to, get away from there immediately. And Naxel now getting the unhook onto Shiny yet again. We want to try to go back for the unhook here. This is actually looking pretty decent for Team Aphelion. If they can just pop 2 more generators, they've already met the tide condition. So as long as Shiny lasts here, but it's simply not gonna happen. That's a great transition from Inno. Amazing stuff coming in from Inno, and we're getting the hook on this one side of the map here. So Team Aphelion still has it all to play for. However, this generator very, very close to popping. Furious's generator not far behind. We can see the team's playing for this win condition quite heavily here. And Nina will unfortunately not be popping this generator over on the 8 side of the map, and instead is choosing to leave probably the safer play here. Remember, we are playing for WinCon, but we don't want to give away anything for free. We want to try to win. So we are actually seeing Naxel here. Sprint burst coming through, a swing and a miss coming in from our killer player here. 1 bound to try to get over to the bottom side of the map here, where we see another generator being progressed over here as well. This is a tight win con, so the fact that Inno is playing this a little bit safer is no surprise whatsoever. Inno now working this top side generator. Naxel's probably somewhere around here stealthing. Yes, indeed. And Naxel's probably going to be heading onto this 9-side generator. Yes, Naxel is heading onto this 9-side generator. Furious now over on this bottom side generator. Wants to try to get back onto it, but it looks like Inno is scared of this 8-side generator popping, and rightfully so. As a bird flies off in the distance here, the question is, no, we do not find him, and we're still looking around here. Inno trying his best to find someone, but Naxel doing an amazing job avoiding a free tag here, but unfortunately Furious cannot be said for the same. So Naxel is going to be back on this generator. Nina on the main side of the map here. Furious taking chase over on the bottom side as well. Needs to try to win as much of this as possible. Has a pallet here to play, so amazing stuff. And getting the drop of the pallet here, needs to try to win this pallet, and actually does, allowing for Naxo to pop this generator over here as well. One more generator popping will be the tie condition, and we do have Shack pallet as well. So now we're transitioning back over to the top side of the map. We can no longer chase this. Nina is so close to popping as we're heading now back over to the bottom side of the map here, as we do see that Furious has gone back on to this generator. Can it be a transition? It can be. Beautiful stuff from Inno to deny this generator from popping, but we see Naxo stealthing off in the distance. We are slugging, maybe looking for any sort of play that we can make on the top side of the map here. But here's the thing, Nina is so close to popping this generator, and he waits until the killer is all the way on the top side of the map to do so. Breaking the pallet will allow for Nina to make one transition over to yet another pallet here. Furious getting picked up. We can no longer chase. We have to go back to the bottom side of the map before they can pop this bottom side generator, and the survivors know it, so they are just stealthing. They do not want to make any dangerous play here. They want the win, and they are playing for it. The tie condition has already been met, but they want the win. Naxo now working this bottom side generator. Furious taking chase over on this side of the map here, on the kind of bottom side of the map here, but it's going to be a very quick down onto Furious here. Naxo now working a top side generator. Or a bottom side generator. Naxo needs to actually be very, very careful, stealthing, trying to maybe pick an unhooked play. Nina just continuing to work a top side generator. Very, very smart play. The win condition is in grasp here. Inno heading over now to the top side of the map. Needs to stop Nina and knows it. Needs to have a very good chase and fast chase onto Nina, kicking this middle generator and going to the logs here. And we are seeing Nina now going over to the top side of the map. A good flashbang play from Nina. Amazing stuff here. Simply wanting to play this edge filler here. Picking up Furious. They are now going to be doubling this bottom side generator here. The question is, does Nina last for that to happen? Nina not going down just yet. Has to break the pallet. Zone and bone, as we say. And a rush confirms the death. Eruption coming through, but here's the thing, they are doubling. I don't think that Inno can possibly make it in time for them to stop them from popping the generator, and they do. Amazing stuff from Team Aphelion, winning the Blight set and moving on. What an amazing play from Team Aphelion, playing into their win condition so well. Furious doing amazing check spots here. Has to drop the Shack pallet though. And now it looks like Furious has nothing more to play. One rush, two rush confirms the death, and Naxo now already on the top side of the map here. Inno choosing to slug. Naxo getting the pickup. They are going to play for the best result they possibly can here. Shiny took an amazing tunnel out chase, and the survivors knew the assignments in terms of gen pressure. Inno now taking chase onto Nina. Over on this main building, an incredible fast vault coming in from Nina. Was it necessary to make this window? It was, in fact. Nina showing her incredible performance on the chases here, but unfortunately it is the blighted killer, so we are seeing a down onto Nina. We are heading back over to the bottom side of the map. A slug coming through. This can be a 4K1. Aphelion has already taken the set, but this can be a 4K1 here. If we find someone else very, very quickly and get the down very, very quickly. But Furious getting the reset. Oh dear. We might actually not find what we're looking for, especially if the survivors are able to stealth this out efficiently. No, it looks like Furious or Naxo is going to get found here. So Naxo now taking chase, and unfortunately is not going to make it anywhere. Inno wants to be very, very careful. Instead choosing to pick up Naxo here. Furious deciding to work a bottom side generator. Now here's the thing, this is actually a very intelligent play, because you would assume that Furious is heading over to pick up Nina. And I would forgive you for assuming that. Yeah, I would forgive you for assuming that. Now Furious is just choosing to work this bottom side generator. It looks like we are looking for Furious to the best of our ability, but Furious just working this generator, not really interested in doing anything crazy. And there is the deliverance from Naxo. Actually, you know, I am understanding now why. It was because the deliverance was in place, so Furious could actually just do this completely for free. But yeah, I mean, Great stuff from Team Aphelion. Good team coordination entirely. We're winning this window, but good transition from Inno to actually get that tag and down onto Furious. Now, we want to try to commit to the down onto Furious here. The question is, what are they doing? They're actually doubling this logs generator. Oh my goodness, this could be outs. A down onto Furious. They're gonna commit for this logs generator for the best result that they can possibly get here. We're bounding over to the logs. 1 rush, 2 rush, will not even mean a tag on anyone, and it's going to be a 4K with 0 generators remaining. Now here's the thing, Naxo does not have Unbreakable, so this is confirming a 4K 0 here. What an incredible performance from both teams. Aphelion playing into their win condition super duper well there. And now it's time for Inno to just do some cleanup. Getting this hook over on the 5-sided map here. And now we need to find Furious. Furious is not where you would expect, actually. Furious is actually crawling towards, like, the 3 side of the map here, which is actually very interesting. But we do find Furious, cementing our 4K with 0 stages, or 0 generators remaining. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to today's matches of Sanity versus Tamashi and Aphelion versus Chads. When we come back tomorrow, we are going to be seeing some interesting games. We are going to be seeing Bleed Out versus Astrology and Memories versus Girly Pop. Stay tuned for that tomorrow. And goodbye, everyone.